What's up, guys? I'm the East Coaster fan, and today we are here to mourn the loss of Green Lantern. You thought I was serious, right? Mourn the loss of Green Lantern? Even as a coaster enthusiast, I am happy to see that thing go. So buckle up, because we're about to spend numerous minutes on talking about how painful and horrible this ride was.
Hold on, before we start talking all this bad stuff about Green Lantern and how painful it was, let me just say, this ride was fantastic. As the unofficial Green Lantern stan, as I am known to Sean, this was a fantastic ride. I absolutely loved the ride. I hated it the first time I rode it, but as I started riding it more and more over the years, I just learned to appreciate it. I thought it was smooth, intense. The incline loop was the best inversion on the ride. It had incredible pacing. But really, to me, this ride meant a lot. It was the B&M Looper that I love at other parks that I have as my home park. As someone who only lives a half hour away, it really stinks not to have it here. As far as for the future, we'll just have to look forward to it. But otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna severely miss standing up to my fear on Green Lantern.
Well, at least we got a few defenders here of Green Lantern. So if you didn't know, Green Lantern began its life as Chang at Kentucky Kingdom. While it was designed for that park and not Great Adventure, as we'll get to a bit later in this video, Chang was apparently popular there. It was a newer version of the stand-up models. The earlier ones were a bit more of like a smaller scale looping coaster. Heck, there were even arrows at that time that were larger than these. But this really felt like taking what had been made with some of the other like sit-down loopers and applying that size and scale to a stand-up. And oh boy, did they sure do that. Now, if you've never seen a stand-up coaster, you might be like, what makes a stand-up coaster so painful? And there's many reasons. Well, first of all, you're not really completely standing up. I mean, you are, but like, underneath you is a bicycle seat. And if you've ever stood up on the pedals of a bike, it's sort of that similar feeling. The issue was, the forces that came from the ride were applied directly to your feet and the bicycle seat. So if you were, let's say, supporting more of your body on the bicycle seat, you know where that force was hitting you. But the rest of the force felt like it was trying to snap your legs in half. Maybe that's just a personal feeling that I have against stand-up coasters, but usually that's the reason why I don't like them. If you're going to be applying that force, make sure it's equally distributed. Like for Riddler's Revenge at Magic Mountain. Weirdly enough, I like that ride, and I think it's because throughout the course, it's shifting between where the force is being applied to, like your left leg, your right leg, and just general overall positive force maybe on the bike seat. Green Lantern, especially on its second half, felt like all of that was just shifted to one side of your body, leading so much force on the other, and the other side like feeling numb. But going back to Chang, it seemed like it was a popular ride there, but during the course of the closure of Kentucky Kingdom, the Six Flags Company decided that it would be worth bringing Green Lantern over to Great Adventure as a replacement for the Great American Scream Machine. Now, I had never ridden the Great American Scream Machine, but I'm sure it was better than Green Lantern. So it came in 2011, which was the same year as
Green Lantern in 2011.
So yeah, that whole reception of the movie definitely did not help promote this ride. What did promote it was this really weird subtitle, Stand Up to Your Fear.
It's a stupid idea! You're a stupid man! A stupid man!
Listen, I make a lot of puns on this channel, you guys know that, and I know that. But stand up to your fear. Maybe it's just a me thing, but man, that line is so cheesy. Whenever I'd walk by Green Lantern, I would stand up to my fear and avoid it entirely. I would stand up and walk away. Those are the puns I make here on this channel, purely at the expense of Green Lantern. But anyway, Great Adventure got Green Lantern in 2011, and maybe 40 minutes or so would go by, and their legs would already be tired, and then they'd go up and see, oh, I gotta stand up on a roller coaster. And the worst part was the station was pretty far back from the path, so you had to take then a long path back to the boardwalk section, which is the section I would use to basically bring my legs back to life. So while my legs were recovering, my head was also still in a bit of a daze, which doesn't help because the station was also elevated. So you had a really long staircase that you need to walk down, and you'd feel like you just walked out of a bar basically sometimes if you hit your head really hard. Granted, throughout the years I learned techniques onto how to minimize this aspect, but the fact that my legs were still in extreme pain with each ride didn't help. The first drop was cool. I always liked going through that structure and into the loop was fine. At that point in the ride, you could still like feel your legs. But then some of the other elements just felt unnecessary. Like that whole upward helix that you went through. There's like a rapid twist that you take before going up into the mid-course brake run. Speaking of that mid-course brake run, I will give them props. They never turned that on from what I understand. I guess it was something used for Chang, but by the time it arrived at Great Adventure, they didn't really have a use for it. The only good part though was there was this mini dip before you enter the painful corkscrew that offered a little bit of floater. That was fun. What was nice though was that you could go really up close to the ride, and that you could go up to the ride and see your friends on it screaming in pain and take all the photos and videos you want. And look, it even reused things from Great American Scream Machine. Did you know that the first section of queue that you're in is actually part of Great American Scream Machine? In fact, that whole structure is. That's where the sign used to be. And instead they put a giant cutout of Green Lantern there. That way you can not tell it all. Also, it's worth noting this. Putting a green coaster next to King Ka at the time always made so much confusion. I was with GP multiple times where they pointed at Green Lantern and thought that was part of Ka. And man, that was painful as a coaster enthusiast. I guess they thought the airtime hill for Ka went down and then up into the mid-course brake run. And man, that would be a really wild ride change to go from that airtime hill into the mid-course brake run and start doing corkscrews. Other things I want to point out about this ride. As you were going up the lift, depending on which side you were, you could get a good shot of Ka or a good shot of Superman. The rest was just parking lot. I gotta say, I don't know which is a better view of the parking lot, when you're on top of Gatekeeper or whether you're riding Green Lantern, because both offered the exact same view. Gatekeeper at least had a beach next door. I don't know what else you want to look at the top of Green Lantern. I guess if you look to the right and squint really hard, you might be able to spot the Wawa where you can get a sub for $6. So yeah, I am not a fan of this coaster at all. It ranked very low for me. I have had Cam and other enthusiasts over the course of the years try and get me to like it, and it didn't work. It just it makes me angry. But anyway, during the rumors of Ka and stuff, Green Lantern was sort of mixed in. It was always like a long time rumor that Green Lantern was gonna bite the dust. It was a used coaster. It was kind of past its prime, not popular at all. So even for park guests, it was not a popular ride. It's been a long time coming for this coaster, and eventually it was announced by the park to be closing. Although I should really reuse my words, it got absolutely decimated. The last time I saw this coaster still standing in some form was on the last day of the season in 2024. And even so, they had just the lift there. And that was it. That was the last time I saw Green Lantern. Oh well. In terms of when I last rode it, it was also the last day I rode Ka. And while it seemed everyone in the park was at the Golden Kingdom and King Ka, it just seemed that no one cared about Green Lantern. It was a walk-on, and I just laugh at that, honestly. Nobody cared at all. So with that, that's kind of all I have to say about Green Lantern. It's weird that I'm even making a rip video about it because I don't want this thing to rest in peace. I want it to burn in hell. But I do know there are people who genuinely miss this attraction and how it was incorporated into the park. If you really liked positives, it was an attraction that you probably would have gotten more enjoyment out of than me. These are just my silly thoughts that I'm spreading online. But if it's replaced by something else, whether it's part of the King Ka edition or maybe its own separate thing, I hope it's better. So with that being said, farewell Green Lantern, you get the gist. Okay, bye.